Hello everybody, welcome back. If you're new, I'm Claudia. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy you're here. 2020, amongst many other things, seemed to have been the year for skincare and beauty devices, gadgets and tools, and I have accumulated my share of them. Next to me on my table right here, I have 10 different devices, 10 different modalities. Some of them I bought myself. Some of them were sent to me by the company. So in today's video, I'm going to choose 5 of them, tell you what I think about them. Are they worth buying? If I have before and after pictures, I will of course share them with you. And in the next video, I will talk about the remaining 5 devices. So without further ado, before this video gets forever long, let's get into it. Now, before I share the first device with you, I want to say really briefly that though having some of these skincare and beauty devices, gadgets or tools can be quite fun, maybe even beneficial, none of them are necessary. So please, don't think you have to go running out buying any of these. Even if I happen to really like one of these, please do not think you have to buy any of these. Some of these are quite expensive. And like I said, though they can be very fun and maybe even beneficial, they are definitely not necessary. So with that said, let's see. Let's start with IPL. I have the Faustina home IPL device right here. And IPL stands for Intense Pulsed Light. I am a big fan of IPL. In fact, about 20 years ago, I had very bad rosacea. Back then, I tried all kinds of topicals, internal medication, nothing helped. The only thing that helped my rosacea back then was in-office IPL treatments. They were quite expensive back then, but it was so worth it. Not only did the in-office IPL treatments basically cure my rosacea, they also got rid of all kinds of hyperpigmentation I had accumulated on my face from just baking in the sun for decades. So, like I said, I am a big fan of IPL. It has done wonders for my skin. And when I heard about home IPL devices, I had to have one. I bought this myself last December of 2020, and I have been using it ever since on myself as well as my husband. So what IPL basically does is the pulsed light seeks out contrast. So in the case of pigment, the light seeks out the pigment, breaks it into smaller pieces, which eventually come to the surface and flake off. In the case of rosacea or broken capillaries, the light seeks out the blood vessels, basically destroys them. The skin, of course, heals that damage and creates healthier and clearer skin. IPL can also be used for hair removal. And in the case of hair removal, the light seeks out the pigment in our hair, the melanin. The melanin absorbs the light, which stimulates it to go into resting phase. So IPL can be used for hyperpigmentation, broken capillaries, rosacea, hair removal, and the Faustina can also be used for cystic acne. Now personally, I have not tried it for cystic acne, but I have tried it for what they call skin rejuvenation, and I have tried this on my husband for hair removal. When you want to use IPL for hair removal, you have to be a candidate for it. I am not. As I said earlier, the light seeks out contrast. So your hair has to be quite a bit darker than your skin. I have very light hair and my skin is actually darker. So I am not a candidate for IPL hair removal. But my husband is the perfect candidate. So I'll show you some before and after pictures in a second. But like I said, I also use this on myself for skin rejuvenation. So this comes with 3 different lenses and you just take them off. And this one is the one for skin rejuvenation and you pop the one you want right on here. Then you turn it on here. It has 5 different levels. Level 1 being the lowest, level 5 being the highest. I always use it on level 5. And then you press this button right here and that fires the light. So this is quite easy to use, and I would say it is basically painless. You feel a little bit of warmth, but that's really it. In-office IPL treatments I find to be a bit uncomfortable. They feel like a rubber band snapping, and they are also quite startling. Now, as you can see, I'm wearing glasses, which is recommended when you do a treatment because the light is quite bright. You also want to make sure the device is in contact with your skin. So if the device is not completely in contact with your skin, it will not fire. So around my cheekbones and my forehead, I had a bit of a hard time sometimes to get the device to fire. But playing around with different angles, I eventually got it to actually give me a pulsed light. So as you can see, the device is quite easy to use. You want to make sure to wear glasses to protect your eyes. You want to make sure to keep the lens in contact with your skin, or else it will not fire. And like I said, I had a bit of a hard time around my cheekbones and my forehead, but eventually just playing with the different angles, I made it work. I had no problems at all on my neck, my chest, my hands, or any of the areas. I used it on my husband. So it is very easy to use. I find it painless. So let's look at some before and after pictures and see if it actually works. So here is a picture of my husband's neck. I only treated the right side of his neck, not the left. So here is the left untreated side and here is the right treated side. And I have to say, I think we actually got quite good results. I would say it's about a 70 or 80% reduction in hair growth. So for a home IPL device, I think that's actually quite impressive. Now, my husband also let me treat his chest. He was a bit shy at first about sharing these pictures on social media, but eventually he let me share them. So you can see on his chest as well, I would say we got about a 70 to 80% reduction in hair growth. So these were my husband's before and afters. And like I said, I think we actually got some good results. 70 to 80% reduction in hair growth. I think, again, for a home IPL device is, in my opinion, quite impressive. Now, my husband said the same thing. He said it was painless and easy to do. So let's look at my before and after pictures. I used the Faustina on my full face, my neck, my chest, as well as my hands. So here is a picture of my face. And actually I am really glad I took before and afters, because honestly, looking in the mirror, I thought that there was absolutely no change. But when I looked at the before picture, I realized that I had a quite noticeable red spot on my right cheek, and I'm not quite sure if it was a cluster of broken capillaries, but as you can see in the after picture, it actually reduced quite a bit. Now I can still see it, but I do think it has faded quite a bit, and hopefully with further treatment it will fade even more. Here is a picture of my neck and chest. And actually with my neck and chest, I thought things were happening. When I looked in the mirror, I actually thought I saw a difference. But looking at these before and after pictures, I don't see any difference. I was really hoping it would help get rid of some of the red and ruddiness on my neck and chest, which again is from decades of baking in the sun. But honestly, I don't see any difference. I also don't see any difference in my hyperpigmentation on my neck or chest. Now you can see the lighting in the before and after is a bit different. It is so difficult to get the same lighting, but like I said, I don't see, unfortunately, any difference. So let's look at my hands. Now you can see in the before picture, I have quite a few sunspots on my hand. again, years of baking in the sun, and I was really hopeful to remove or fade some of them, and I really focused on these spots. But unfortunately, as you can see in the after picture, there is really no change. So I have to say, I think my husband got much better results using the Faustina home IPL device. Now, I am happy to see this spot fade a little bit, but aside from that, as I said, I didn't see any difference in my neck, chest, nor my hands. I am going to continue to use this, and if I see any further improvement, I will definitely let you know. We are also going to continue to use this on my husband. We have to now do the other side of his neck, but we will also continue to use it on the areas we already treated. And if there is further improvement, I will also let you know. So far, I think this is great for hair removal. Skin rejuvenation, I am not too impressed. If you have used this, please let me know what your thoughts are. And also if you have used it for cystic acne, I would love to know if it works for that. Next, let's talk about this fancy device right here. This is the WSkin Home Hydrafacial device. The company sent this to me and I was really excited to receive this. However, I'll tell you in a second what happened, but first let me show you the device. So it comes in this fancy box. You also charge it in this box. Once you open it up, it looks like this. You have the device right in here, and it comes with different attachments. And the company promises that this device gives your skin a refreshing shower, and that it is the solution to all of these problems right here: blackheads, whiteheads, dull skin, dry skin, congestion. The website goes on to say that this device uses negative pressure and gentle exfoliation to create a vortex to dissolve blackheads and excess sebum. It also is supposed to leave your skin flooded with hydration. This device sells for $250, which I guess is not that bad, considering that a hydrafacial in a spa runs you about that much. So as I said, I was quite excited to receive this. So once you take it out of the box, it looks like this. You take one of the attachments and you place it right here. You put some solution in the bottom and you're ready to use it. Now, honestly, I don't know what I did with my directions. It comes with directions, but I lost them. So I had no idea at first how to use this. I watched Katie, the organic esthetician, who did a video on how to use this, and I followed along with her. She did a great job explaining how to use it. At first it took a little bit getting used to, but I got the hang of it quite quickly. So as I said, I followed along with Katie. I started on my forehead as she did, then I went to my cheeks. I got about halfway done with my cheeks, and then this little guy kept beeping at me, so I finally realized I didn't have any more solution in here. I put some more solution in it, popped the thing back on, and tried to use it again. However, it kept beeping and turning off. I turned it back on, it turned back off. I turned it back on, it turned back off. I did this about 7 or 8 times, finally thinking maybe I didn't charge it long enough, even though I charged it for the 24 hours the company suggests. So I took the little device and put it back in the charging case. First I emptied the solution to make sure that wouldn't be a problem. I put it back in the charging case, and this is what happened. So of course I took the little guy back out, thinking that maybe I had left a bit of solution in here. I popped this off, making sure there was no solution in here, put it back in, same thing happened. I took it back out, I tried all kinds of things, the same thing happened over and over. So I could not recharge this and it wouldn't turn back on. So I couldn't even finish my treatment. I did my forehead and my cheeks, but that's it. So that was a bit frustrating. But when I walked back in the bathroom to wash off the solution, I realized I had given myself 2 hickeys, 2 bruises, one here, one here. Now right here I had a pimple and a bit of congestion. So I was really excited to use this, and I have to admit I went over this area a couple of times. On level 1 though, as Katie suggested, but I did go over it a couple of times, and here's what happened. So the pimple is still there, the congestion is still there, but now I have a hickey, a bruise around it. And like I said, I did go over this area a couple of times, but I also had a bruise on this side, and over here I only went over it 1 time. So that got me thinking that these home devices are maybe not the best idea, since they could possibly give you broken capillaries. Now I used this device about 6 days ago for the one and only time, and I still have pinkness on both sides. I do think and hope it will heal all the way and not leave me with any broken capillaries, which I then have to get IPL for. So I do hope it will heal all the way. But still, it got me thinking that this could definitely, or any of these home suction devices, could definitely give you broken capillaries. So I am not too impressed with this device. And even if I could recharge it, which I can't, I would not use it again. I don't like that it gave me bruises, and it didn't do anything it promised to do. I still had congestion. I didn't have any less pimples or blackheads afterwards. And I also didn't feel that my face was flooded with hydration necessarily, especially since I couldn't even finish the whole treatment. So I am not impressed with this. And it's actually surprising. I have seen quite a few YouTubers rave about this. And YouTubers I actually really trust. So I don't know if it's just me, but like I said, I am not impressed with this. I did write to the company and told them what happened. I haven't heard back from them. If I do, I'll let you know. But this is not something I recommend, and I don't know what to do with it because it doesn't, like I said, recharge. And even if it would, I wouldn't use it again. If you have used this device and you liked it or you didn't like it, please share down below. I'd love to know. Next, let's talk about this little guy. This is the Facial Flex, and this is actually only the packaging. It looks like this, and it is basically a resistance device for your face. I bought this about 4 years ago, and I have been using it ever since, almost daily. And I actually really like this. Now the company says that this is the only progressive resistance-based exercise device clinically proven to develop face toning, reduce wrinkles, and offer facial rejuvenation. They say it applies resistance to 30 muscle groups in your face and neck and allows you to trim, tone, and tighten to look terrific. So like I said, this is kind of like a resistance device for your face. You pop it in your mouth, and this is how you use it. You make these strange faces for about 2 minutes a day. And the one thing you want to make sure is that you sort of curl your lips under your teeth so you don't actually create more lines and wrinkles. But aside from that, it is very easy to use. And like I said, I have been using it for about 4 years now, almost daily. I do think it makes a difference. I do think it keeps my jaw and my cheeks just a bit tighter. And strangely enough, I am a horrible teeth grinder, have been for a long time. I'm working on it. But because of it, I have so much tension built up in my jaw. And strangely enough, this has helped relieve some of that tension. So I really like this little guy. Again, takes 2 minutes a day, and once you have this device, the only thing you have to do is every once in a while replace the little rubber bands. It does come with rubber bands, and I actually have not yet bought any new ones, so the ones it comes with last for quite a while. Now, is this necessary? No, like I said, none of these things are necessary. And if you're really good at doing face yoga or face exercises, you don't need this. For me, having a little device by my sink reminds me to actually use it and do it. If I wouldn't have this little device looking at me in the mornings, I wouldn't do any sort of face yoga or face exercises. So if you're like me, and this might be a good little investment. It's now, I think, around $55. I didn't pay that much. I think I paid around $35, so it has gone up in price. But $55, I think, is still okay. This is going to last you forever. And like I said, the only thing you have to do is replace the little rubber bands. But again, not necessary. If you're somebody who is really good at doing facial yoga or facial exercises, you don't really need this, but I like it. All right, next, let's talk about this little guy right here. This is the Nira Home Laser. It is an FDA cleared laser to use around the eye area. The company sent this to me quite a while ago, and I actually already made a video on this where I review this in depth with my friend Tamara from Tamara's Timeless Beauty. So if you have not seen our videos, I will link them both down below. In both videos, we show before and after pictures. So like I said, if you haven't seen them, I will link them down below. I won't go into too much detail, but let me tell you what the company says this does. So as I said, this is an FDA cleared, not FDA approved. That's a bit different, but an FDA cleared laser to use around the eye area. The company says it is clinically proven to reduce lines and wrinkles in just 2 minutes a day. They have some incredibly promising before and after pictures on their website, which, looking at them, you are going to want to buy this laser. Now, if you look closely, you can see that the light is quite different in the before and after, which, as I said earlier, is difficult to control for somebody like me who is not a professional photographer. But these companies, of course, hire professional photographers to take their before and after pictures. So you gotta always take these before and after pictures with a grain of salt. Now, I also took before and after pictures, but I don't want to bore you with them because there was no difference at all. If you're curious, like I said, I will link the video where I talk about this in depth down below. But there was zero difference in my before and after pictures. In fact, one of you said you saw a difference, but you actually saw a difference in the before picture, not the after. So I saw no difference at all. I used this as the company suggests. I used this for 3 months, every day, on level 4. This has 5 different levels, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. I actually went to level 5 twice and each time burned myself. So I went back to level 4, used it, like I said, for 3 months on level 4 every day. I saw zero difference. So in my opinion, this is definitely not worth buying. It's about $400. It's often on sale, but regardless of how much it costs, I don't think it's worth it. Now, I have seen some people actually having results with this, and surprisingly enough, on their hooded eyes. Now, this is FDA cleared for use under the eyes, not necessarily on top of the eyes, but like I said, I have seen some people actually have results using this on their hooded eyes, which is interesting. But for me personally, I saw zero results and I have not used this since. If you use this and you've seen any results or you don't, let us know down below. Let's finish this video with a modality I really love, and that is LED light therapy. I've been a big fan of LED light therapy for quite a while, In fact, I bought my first LED light therapy device about 10 years ago when I had a broken neck. I had to have surgery, so while recovering in bed, I would take my device, put it right here, hoping it would help me heal faster. Now, it's hard to say if it helped me heal faster, but while laying there recovering, I also took my device and put it on my face. And every time somebody came to visit, they would comment on how glowing my skin looked, which of course got me even more curious about LED light therapy. And I have since accumulated quite a few different devices. But last year, I really wanted to get an LED light therapy face mask. I was using a handheld device and it just took forever. And I wanted something I could multitask with and was just easier to use. So I looked for quite a while, and most things I found on the market were hard shells. They did not look comfortable, nor did they look like you could multitask with them. But after looking for a while, I found what I was looking for. And that was the Aduro LED face mask. Now, I also made a whole video on this mask. If you haven't seen it, I will link it down below, so I won't go too much into detail. But I did want to talk about this mask, of course, and LED light therapy, because it is such a great modality and so versatile. It can be used for skin rejuvenation, for acne, for hyperpigmentation, pain management, injury recovery, even hair growth. So LED light therapy is such a great modality, and I have seen some really great results using it. Now, what LED light therapy basically does is two different things. First of all, when our skin and our mitochondria absorbs the light, and the depth of penetration depends on the color and the wavelength of the light. But once our mitochondria absorbs the light, nitric oxide increases. And this increase in nitric oxide opens our blood vessels and allows more blood to get to the cells. And with that extra blood, more nutrients can get to the cells. It also allows for waste product to be removed from the cells. So nitric oxide increases. Secondly, ATP, adenosine triphosphate, increases. And adenosine triphosphate is a coenzyme needed to carry energy within our cells. Almost all cellular function in our body needs ATP to be carried out. And in our skin, ATP helps with collagen and elastin production. So LED light therapy increases nitric oxide and increases ATP, which in turn helps with collagen and elastin production. Now, as I said, I have accumulated quite a few different LED light therapy devices over the last decade, but my absolute favorite, hands down, is the Aduro LED face mask. I love this mask. I wear it almost every single day. It is so easy to use and so relaxing to use. But unfortunately, I do not have any before and after pictures to show you. The company sent me this mask quite a while ago, and it was the first device I had ever been sent. So back then I was not thinking ahead and did not take any before pictures. But what I have noticed since using this mask is, first of all, it does an incredible job taking down inflammation and redness. I will use this after I microneedle or after I do a peel, and normally after microneedling or a peel, I will be red for hours. But when I use this, it is incredible how much it takes down the redness and inflammation. So that's one of the first things I noticed when using this. Another thing I noticed is that when I started using this, I was getting some enlarged pores on my cheeks. Now, they might not have been visible to you, but I definitely saw them. And after using this for about 1 month, they disappeared. But let me make clear that LED light therapy cannot change our pore size, which is determined by our genes. So if we genetically have large pores, LED light therapy cannot shrink them. but pores can definitely get enlarged from loss of collagen. So that is, I think, what was happening with me. So this helping with collagen production helped get those pores back to where they were before. And I've also noticed my skin is healthier, more glowing. So I absolutely love this. But like I said, this has 7 different light options, and you might not need all of these options. If you just want skin rejuvenation, there are now plenty of these actually flexible masks on the market which offer red light and infrared light without all the other light options, and they might be a great option for you. Now, from my research, the mask I would recommend, and I haven't tried it, but like I said, from my research, I would recommend the Omnilux if you are only looking for red and infrared. But I personally definitely like having some of the other light options as well. I have used blue when I had breakouts. I've played around with the green, but I don't really have enough hyperpigmentation to know if the green actually does work for hyperpigmentation. But I do like having the other light options. But again, if you don't think you need them, there are now many other flexible masks on the market which might work for you. But I absolutely love this mask, and like I said, I use it almost daily. Now, another LED device I actually got was this right here. This is by Current Body, and it is the neck and deck perfector. This is lovely to have, and it's nice to give my neck and chest some love as well. I also got this from the company, but honestly, I wouldn't buy it. It's quite overpriced in my opinion, and if you already have a flexible face mask, you can easily put it on your neck, on your chest, on your head, wherever you want to put it. Now, it would be harder to do with a hard shell mask, but one of these, like I said, you can easily put any place else on your body. So though I am grateful I have this, I don't think it's necessary, and honestly I don't use it as much as I use this. So LED light therapy is definitely a modality I love. No matter what device, if you are looking for an LED light therapy device, there are so many on the market now. Whether you are getting a mask, a handheld device, a panel, actually I think a panel if you have the patience to sit in front of it. Now personally, I would love to have a panel, but I also know myself, I know I won't have the patience to sit in front of it. But if you have the patience, I think a panel is the best idea because you get your whole body treated. So there are so many devices out now. What you want to look for is to make sure the wavelength is the right wavelength and the device has plenty of LED lights, so you don't just get a Q-tip treatment. But like I said, I love LED light therapy and it is so versatile. So these were the first 5 devices. I hope you had fun so far. I hope this was helpful. Let me know down below if you have any questions or comments. I always love to hear from you. And I would also love to know if you have tried any of these devices. What do you think about them? Have you seen any results? So that's it. I hope, like I said, this was fun and helpful, and I will see you in part 2 of this video. Until next time, bye.